So having that diverse clientele, how do you kind of tailor your approach with each client to kind of fit their needs?
Yeah, so the way that I was taught is you treat the 10,000 lot buyer the exact same way as you treat the $10 million lake seller. You give everybody the exact same service. You treat everybody as if it was your own baby buying the home, and you can't go wrong.
Welcome back to the Bringing It Home podcast. I'm your host, Trevor Higgins, and today I'm thrilled to be joined by a very special guest, Luke Blackwelder, a third-generation realtor, a proud Charlotte native with the Griesinger Group at eXp Realty. And since starting his real estate career in 2019, Luke's really built a reputation for exceptional service, clear communication, and delivering results across the Charlotte area. Luke, welcome to the show.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you having me.
Absolutely, man. I'm excited to dive into real estate, the market, and everything that's going on in your journey through entrepreneurship. So I think that's a great place to start. Why don't we start at kind of the very beginning, knowing that you're a third generation realtor, how did that legacy shape who you are as a real estate professional, and what really motivated you to make the jump out of what you were doing and into real estate?
Yeah, so I started out at my dad's body shop, working there for a while. My family wanted me to get into real estate right out of high school. Was there in 08 and 09, so it was a little bit different time back then.
It's a little rocky.
But hindsight, I wish I would have jumped in back then. I just wouldn't do it because I knew it was commission only. So I worked at the body shop, then I made the transition over to the gym industry, ended up managing a few gyms. That's where I met you.
Yeah. Way back, man.
Yeah.
The good old days.
Yeah, so I did that, and then ended up having a family. And, at that time, I just felt like I was working so much in the gym, and I just came to the consensus, unless you own the place, you're not making anything.
Right.
So I made the jump. I went and talked to my grandma and my uncle, and they said, maybe it's time for you to try this thing out. And my grandma even told me before we lost her that she knew I was going to be the best in our family at this.
No kidding.
Wow. I would love to see her now, 5-6 years later, looking at what I'm doing now, because I know that she would just be so proud.
Oh, absolutely.
For the things I've been able to accomplish. So, but that being said, I decided that, I was scared of the only commission before I had a family. So why not jump into all the only commission? Why I have so much to risk?
Yeah. Makes perfect logical sense.
Yeah. So I started with the family firm, and I was mentored by my uncle for a while, for the first 4.5 years of my career. And then it was just kind of time to make a change and try something different. And I had met Andy Griesinger through the Ryan Serhant program during COVID. And we had kind of been friends, grabbed drinks. We'd talk about real estate here and there. And then I finally just really got to my rock and a hard place. And I knew it was really time for a change. So I gave him a call and I said, all right, tell me what it is. Let's figure this thing out and see what's next. And so, I've been with eXp a year and a half now. So I'm really loving it. So much for the business has changed for me. I went from working very solo, very alone, to having a much bigger network because I'm part of the fast forward movement at eXp, going to conferences, ending up on stage with Flo Rida at the eXp conference.
I saw that.
Yeah. So I absolutely love what I do. I'm passionate about it. It really, when you get to the closing table with a family and you made it happen for them and they're just happy that, that's just, I love it. Of course, it affords a good life for my family, of course. But I genuinely love what I do.
That's awesome.
And I look forward to getting up every day and getting after it.
I love that, man. Well, you had mentioned something about, taking that jump, going into a commission-only position. Mm-hmm. So maybe for somebody that's listening, then they're in a similar role, right? They're in that 9-to-5 or they're working that job and they're thinking about making that jump to whether it's start a business, whether it's go into real estate or something that's commission-only based. What do you think was that big push that you needed to make that leap, especially when you had a family on the line and you had a lot more responsibilities financially from when you did, prior to having a family?
Well, after the gym, I'd I went back to the shop for a little bit before I made the jump. And, you know, it was the five of us, and the littlest was a newborn in about 850 square feet, barely, you know, scraping by, getting groceries and everything. And I just, you know, I remember I just thought to myself, I was like, would the kid that I was look up to the man that I am now? And also through that time, I'd gained a lot of weight. I was about 240 pounds of not good weight at 5'8". And just looking myself in the mirror and then just looking at these boys and saying, are you the man that you want them to grow up to be? And so in that moment, I knew it was time for a change. I went to real estate school, had never bought a house, had only rented. So it was just like all brand new. Ended up having to take the class twice.
Yeah,
but we got through.
Hey, we got there.
And, you know, and then I got with my coach, Ty Young, and he helped me with my body, helped me break it back down.
Yeah.
And it's a whole new lease on life. You know, personally, you know, I'm a person that I feel like my kids can look up to and role model after. And then business-wise, it's just, you know, when you take care of yourself, people are going to respect you more. And when you're passionate about something, they can see that and they're attracted to that. And I feel like the combination of all that growth together has helped, you know, essentially put a jetpack on me because, you know, the first 4.5 to 5 years of my career has just been nothing but just scratching and clawing and scratching and clawing and scratching and clawing. And it's like just now I'm starting to feel like I'm turning that corner to where it's really starting to flow and really starting to build the way that I want it to build and put me on the right path to take my family to where I want to take it.
That's awesome. No, I think, you know, family's definitely my number one motivation for everything. I think there's nothing more motivating than, you know, kids, right? Being a parent, wanting to provide a lifestyle for your children, but also for being a role model. So I love that you said that. And I love that you mentioned that. What about, you know, you're obviously a Charlotte native, right? There's not too many of them around here. So how do you think your lifelong connection to the city influences your real estate and how you transact and run your business?
That's an interesting question. Just being born and raised here and just being able to tell people little insights about how it used to be in certain areas and, you know, how it could be and what, you know, the city's planning and things like that. It's crazy because all of the outskirts around Charlotte used to be little Mayberries.
Yeah.
Essentially. And now they're starting to grow so fast. Like, for example, I grew up in the Harrisburg area and, you know, sometimes I'm showing houses down there and I'll tell people, I was like, yeah, I used to ride my bike down 49.
Yeah.
And their jaws hit the ground, their eyes about pop out their head because you wouldn't even really walk down that sidewalk because the traffic's so busy now.
Yeah.
Kind of dangerous. And when I grew up there, they had one stoplight and no grocery stores and like a gas station.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So, and like, it was such a small hometown feel. I could drive across the neighborhood, be at my grandma's and my uncle's over there. And you just rode your bike everywhere.
Yeah.
All over the place. And you couldn't do that in Harrisburg now.
Yeah, right.
It's like Cabarrus County's Ballantyne.
Yeah.
So it's really cool to see the growth. I know a lot of the other locals aren't too happy about it, but it's inevitable when you live in, you know, a top 5 metro in the country.
Yeah. It's going to happen. You can't prevent it.
No matter what. I mean, they just said that we have 157 people moving here a day.
Yeah.
So growth is going to happen.
Yeah. Traffic
whether you want it or not, it's going to happen because, you know, I just moved my family out to the Lake Norman area and toll lanes just jacked me up a little bit. Being behind and I jumped in the toll lane a little bit too much and that bill came in, belt fell to the floor, but, you know, we're learning and Lake Norman's growing too. So they're about to expand 150 because, the traffic is so insane over there as well. Just because we have so many people coming in, the area's growing so much, whether it's Lake Norman, whether it's South End, whether you're getting to some of the more rural areas, to the Stanleys, the Mint Hills, the Matthews, no matter where you really go, if you're going within 20 to 30, 45 minutes around Charlotte, it's growing.
It's growing. Building everywhere.
Yeah. So it's been cool to see. I was one of the kids who used to be in the ice rink at Eastland Mall, and a lot of people don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I think that was shut down when we moved here.
Yeah, and I think my mom was one of the original Mills Milers.
Oh, yeah?
When Concord Mills opened, so
That's awesome.
You know, the people that would go to the mall early in the morning and
Oh yeah, yeah.
get their walking in.
Get their steps in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
So I've just always been here.
That's awesome. And I think, obviously it helps to have that background knowledge too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, and there's still some Charlotte natives here, right? I mean, that network probably provides a little bit of support.
Yeah. Yeah. Being that I'm born and raised here, I do get a lot of old buddies and referrals here and there. So that's also nice,
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Now you work, obviously, we've done all kinds of different deals together with such a wide range of clients, from first-time home buyers, investors, growing families. So having that diverse clientele, how do you kind of tailor your approach with each client to kind of fit their needs?
Yeah, so the way that I was taught is you treat the 10,000 lot buyer the exact same way as you treat the $10 million lake seller. You give everybody the exact same service. You treat everybody as if it was your own baby buying the home, and you can't go wrong.
I mean,
because if you treat
better than that.
You treat it as if your girls are buying the house, you cannot go wrong.
That is.
So that's how I try to, tailor every transaction. I try to treat everybody as if, they're the only one. I want you to feel like you're the only person I'm working with, even though I might have a pipeline of 20 to 30 people that are calling me or texting me or this or that. And you'll feel that way too, because the team, we have operations, transaction coordinators. So even though I'm on the go, it can still happen like bam, bam, bam.
Yeah. Having that support, I think, is huge. I mean, that's part of why I've been at Fairway for so long, just because that high level of support to where you can get things done. You don't have to be working in your business all the time. You can work on your business. And I think that's huge.
Yeah, where you can be chasing the next thing while you have your back end team that'll handle some of the other little things behind the scenes.
Yeah, all the admin work and all that. So obviously since 2019, you've built a ton of momentum. So would you say you have like a secret, or what keeps you focused and moving forward?
So the joke that I've always had about me is I don't want to do what everybody else is doing, and I'm throwing stuff at the wall and see what sticks. So a big thing for me, a big change for me, was when I started doing video.
Yeah.
That was the game changer for me. So I was hitting everything, all the fundamentals, how I'm supposed to do and everything. And I was doing good. I was doing all right for what the average agent would do. But I was still hungry, very hungry. I still am today.
Yeah.
I wanted to be one of the best. And I wanted to prove to myself that I could do that. And, so I was like, you know what? I see these other agents doing videos. I know I can do it better. So that's what I started to do. I went and found a videographer who had never done real estate and who was working with no other agents. And we put some plans together and we've gotten after it. I got with Sam Vargas, and we've had a great time doing it. He's very insightful when it comes to the complex social media game.
Yeah.
And we've just been hitting it hard, trying to keep it creative, trying to find ways to make the seller's property stand out. And, of course, just, hitting the ground running hard, and just, you do your open houses, you do your marketing, you're calling agents, you're networking, you're doing whatever it takes to make sure that that seller's property is in front of everybody before any other property, whether that's through social media, whether that's through campaigns, you name it.
Yeah. Just getting it out there, getting the word out there. Okay. So obviously you brought up video, and you've had some pretty hilarious videos that you put together. So, and I'm just honestly curious, is that something that you create those ideas for? Is that a collaborative effort with your video and social media team, or?
Yeah. So at first, I was trying to kind of keep it professional.
Yeah.
I wanted to, just hit it just right and, market it well. And then, I noticed that the engagement wasn't there. People weren't seeing it as much. And I was like, all right, let's kind of step into more of me. So I started to be more of myself in the videos. And then my videographer stopped me mid-shot one time. He said, stop. You need to envision that you're selling this house to your best friend. And that's how we do the video.
That's good.
So, okay, I was like, all right, okay. So we got a little creative, and then all of a sudden, a Lake Norman video comes up. Oh, they got a jet ski I can borrow. All right, let's go rent a tuxedo and jump on a jet ski. Why not?
I mean, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah. So, and that video did very well.
Yeah.
And boom, I get the biggest listing that I've ever gotten on Lake Norman in Mooresville and Pinnacle Shores. I was wanting to do a boat for that one, but Sam looks at me and goes, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. He goes, get back on the jet ski. So we get back on the jet ski and do something else creative, and that video blown up as well. And in this market, at just under 2 million, we were under contract in 4 days.
That's insane. Yeah, it's just about the eyeballs.
Just getting as many eyeballs on the property as possible. That's what I'm supposed to do.
That's awesome. And I think that's kind of a standout moment too. I still
in a summer market that's 43-day average nationwide, and
I think it's up to like 52
4 days. Yeah. They said slowest in a decade.
Yeah.
Dude,
it's crazy.
So when that happened, sellers through the moon. Of course, she's absolutely excited.
I love that.
Yeah. And those big wins definitely help out, and especially in such a market where, you're starting to see listings sit more, and, there's, the affordability's up, the interest rates are up, and it's just a tougher time for both sides of the transaction. To have something happen that quick and, just that smooth.
Yeah.
It's just a blessing.
You can't beat that.
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude. So our listeners include, investors, maybe aspiring entrepreneurs, realtors, home buyers, all kinds of different people. What advice would you give them, especially those that are looking to take their first step, whether that's buy their first home, get into real estate investing, maybe start their own business? I mean, if you had 60 seconds left on your life and you had to give one big piece of advice, what would you give?
Whenever it feels like you're gonna fail, push harder. Like my man Milet says, power of one more.
The power of one more.
Because there's been so many times through this where I just didn't know how we were gonna eat, how just how things were gonna work out. There's so many times I was like, well, I need to go back and try and do that part-time, or go take that job and do this, and then kind of do real estate on the side. And then I just go look myself in the mirror and say, is that what you would tell your boys to do if they were chasing a dream? And every time that I felt like it was about to all fall apart, and I just, threw some water in my face and just dug back in deep, something big pops.
Yeah.
Literally right around the corner. If I would have quit, it would have went to somebody else.
Yeah.
I would have blocked my own blessing that was coming.
I love that, man.
But every time you feel like everything is just falling apart and you don't even know what to do, you push forward. Because if you quit, you're just back to square one.
That's all you can do.
That was the same way with my body transformation. There was so many times I wanted to quit. But if I did, I was back to square one.
Yeah. I get it.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
So I guess my why is trying to be the best man that I can possibly be in all facets, so that my boys can have the right example to grow into.
That's awesome.
So
there's nothing more motivating than that.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. So that being said, what's next? What does the next year, 5 years, whatever, what do you have planned next for Luke?
I just really, want to become the guy in my market.
Yeah.
I want to become the guy, the first name that pops in your head, the first call you make. That's who I want to be. This is what I do 24/7, 365. Even when I'm out of town, if I was working with you, you wouldn't know it.
Right.
This is all I do all the time. And, you don't put this much into something unless you want to be the best.
Yeah.
And I want to be the Kobe Bryant.
And you're all in.
I want to be the Kobe. So
that's awesome, dude. Well, you're on your way. Dude, you're doing it.
Yeah. So, these things don't happen as quickly as you want. When you get started in a business, you're like, yeah, I'm going to start this business, and my friends and my family, they're going to hit me up, and then they don't.
Yeah. Well, people only buy houses once every 5, 6, 7 years. Mm-hmm. It's not like you have a ton of people.
When you start, you just think you're like, I'm going to start this thing, and I'm just going, boom. And then you start this thing, and you're like, boom. It just takes time to build it. But it's the discipline that you build during that builds your resiliency to be able to maintain it when it does come.
Yeah. Dude, that's good.
And that was such a big thing for me. I actually heard 50 Cent say that.
Okay.
And I was just like, he's right, because if all that I got going on right now hit me 3 years ago, I would have imploded.
Yeah. You weren't ready for it.
Yeah, I would not have been able to handle it. So now that we're like turning that corner and really getting to a spot to where we're just constantly it's like boom, 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 and we have the right systems in place and the right back-end team in place, it's just sky's the limit.
Now it just keeps growing.
It's just keep growing and sticking to the fundamentals and getting creative where necessary, and just keep growing and making sure that whoever I'm working with, that they're fully taken care of, and that, you know, they have no bad thing to say when it's all said and done. And when I say all said and done, it's never actually done, because, you know, when it's time to refinance, I'm going to hit you up. I'm going to connect you with my guy, Trevor. When it's time to do some renovations that you don't know who to call, you're going to call me, and we're going to get you some quotes and estimates from reputable companies that'll take care of you, you know, to whenever we have holiday parties, client appreciations, I'm never going away.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
We're always going to be doing stuff to take care of you, because you came to us with such a big thing in your life.
Yeah.
Your livelihood.
Yeah.
You know?
Shelter.
One of the biggest decisions you're making for you and your family, you came to us with. So we're constantly going to find ways to be reaching out, giving back, and seeing how we can help make the home better, make your life better, and just, you know, enjoy the relationship that we have.
That's awesome, man. I think that's huge. You know, one of my mentors taught me how important it is. You know, obviously you work really hard to get a client, but he's like, almost more important than being able to get that client is keeping a fence around them, in terms of making sure they're taken care of, actually building a relationship with them. It doesn't have to be a transaction. It can actually turn into relationships. So I love that you say those kind of things, because I think
it's not like at closing, or I never see you again. Bye.
Yeah, right.
It's like literally 90 to 95% of the time, once we get to closing, they look at me like, but we want to be friends. Why? You don't got to go away. We love your wife.
Can we hang out?
The kids on Instagram. Like, can we like hang out? You know, come to the housewarming, come to the cookout, you know? Like,
that's awesome.
And, you know, we'll show up.
That's how you know you did it right.
Yeah. So
that's cool.
And I love that, you know? Like, I mean, for example, I had a seller recently who wasn't having the best time, and I came over to have a meeting with him, and the first thing he does is pour a glass of bourbon for me. And he goes, I know you're doing your best, man. It's just the market. We'll get through this.
That's awesome.
And that doesn't always happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't always happen. But, you know, it's nice to, you know, when you're able to educate people and they really understand what's going on, and they know and they see the effort that you're putting in to still go after that top dollar for the investment they've made for over all these years, so they can carry that into the next thing.
Yeah, I think that's huge. All right, so time for a little bit of fun. Rapid fire, short answer questions. Favorite neighborhood in Charlotte?
Oh, gosh. Sedgefield.
Sedgefield. Love it. Your go-to closing gift?
The decanter with the last name on it.
Ooh, okay.
With the wooden box and the glasses for him.
Oh, that's fun. One book or podcast it's your favorite. You recommend it?
The podcast with the British guy. Oh, gosh. It does a lot of the motivational stuff. Jeez, it's going to drive me crazy. All right, well, I'll just go Theo Von.
All right.
I'll go Theo Von. And book, not a big reader.
Audible counts.
Audible counts. Well, I did recently, I'll just go with the best one, Bible.
No, I mean, you can't beat that.
Yeah.
Number one most sold book in the planet.
Yeah, most informative. Every time you read it, you get something different out of it, depending on what you're going through.
True story. True story. I love that.
Yeah.
One word that sums up your real estate journey.
Fight. A fight. You know, it's just, it's a fight.
It's real estate.
Yeah.
You never know what you're going to get into, and every deal's different.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's just, you know,
the ones you think
that's
that
what my career's been. The beginning, you know, you're just fighting to not be broke and stay alive. And, you know, you just gotta really make it through that first 5 years. Like, that's probably in any business, really. You're just head to the ground. Just that first 5 years is just building. And I've talked to my wife about it, you know, because my uncle didn't have his first child till he was 40. And that did set them up in a really good way. But I told Sam, I was telling her, I was like, it's good that we've had the whole family when I started this, because they can see what it took. Like, at least the older boys, they can see like what it took to build this thing. And now my oldest, I was telling his mom just yesterday, as soon as he graduates high school, he's going to real estate school.
Dude, that's awesome.
So
that's so cool.
Yeah.
To be able to create that legacy as well. Fourth generation potential real estate. That's wild.
So I'm super excited about that. Whether he does it or not, I'm happy with whatever he does.
Yeah.
Within reason. But if he does real estate, I'll take him under my wing and not give him anything, make him earn everything.
Yeah, that's right.
He'll have to get after it and earn it just like I did.
That's right, man. I love that though. I love that. I think that's one of the cool. I mean, do I hope my daughters get into mortgages? I don't know about mortgages, but maybe real estate. Maybe real estate's a better fit. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
But I did tell them, don't think this is light work. You see how often I'm not home. Literally my only days off is when we're out of town, and you notice how much I'm on the phone when we're out of town.
Right. Definitely always working.
Yeah.
Pros and cons to the business.
Yeah, man.
Well, awesome, Luke. It's been incredible. It's been insightful. I thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, man.
I think it's really cool to see that motivation. And I think for a lot of you guys that are listening and watching this, whether you're looking to start a business, looking to get into real estate, or start an investing journey, whatever it might be, having that really defined why and that motivation, I think that's what you really need to do to push you past. I mean, I don't think there's better motivation out there than setting an example for your family. And so if you're able to find that, and that's what's going to allow you to dig deep and continue to push through the valleys, right? Push through those challenges that you're going to face, because that's life, right?
Yeah. No, it's not like this. It's like
it's a roller coaster, baby. So for anybody that's listening, maybe they're thinking about investing, maybe they're thinking about buying a home in Charlotte, how can they find you?
You can find me on Facebook, Luke Blackwelder. You can find me on Instagram, Luke_real estate champ. And you can find me on LinkedIn, or you can call me at 704-870-1715. Always available.
Perfect. Well, you heard it here, folks. Luke, if you're looking to buy a house here in the Charlotte area, maybe you have questions about investing in real estate, whatever it might be, reach out to Luke. He can answer those questions, and you are going to get the red carpet service. So thank you so much for joining us. Tune in next week for another episode of Bringing It Home. Don't forget, hit that like button and subscribe for more episodes.